What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with all the Flat Earth Debate pre-show and after-show goodness. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a Patreon, PayPal and crypto link in the info box below this video. Now, we are currently joined by Anthony Riley, so let's say a quick hello to him. How are you doing, Anthony?
Hola.
Hello. Good to have you.
Oh, thank you. Good to see you. It feels like it's been ages. I didn't come on yesterday. I was busy doing stuff, but feels like it's been. Oh, it's because we didn't do a Saturday Sunday show either. What's going on?
I'll get to that in a minute. So we've got about 5 minutes before the live show starts. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shout out a few people while there's no audience to actually moan at me for shilling for myself. So, big shout out to all the 9 Patreons who've joined me on Patreon. As I've said before, this does take a massive amount of stress out of my existence in general. So I am eternally grateful to all of you who have joined me on Patreon. Thank you very much indeed. Also, go and check out nathanoakley.com, which is the new website. It does have a forum which you can join. So there's a community forum where you can join in discussions if you aren't quite so keen to maybe join in on the live show. You can actually go there and then express your views on the shape of the earth in the forum. So I'll just show you that quickly. Dun, dun, dun. So there you go. So the forum has already started to come alive with a few posts. Axial rotation seems to be the topic of the day, but nevertheless, discussions have indeed begun. Debates, discussions, and all things similar. So go to nathanoakley.com, check out the website. You can also find archive material there, which is just nicely ordered. Check out some of the interviews, science versus scientism, science versus pseudoscience, and all of the debates get updated regularly as well. So they should be, as of today, up to date. Let's just double check. Flat Earth debates, there we go. So if I go to the most recent, 701 to current. There we go. So 712 was yesterday's, and obviously the one that's about to go out in about 3 minutes' time is 713. So yeah, they're all up to date and nice and easy to navigate around. So once again, thank you to all on Patreon, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The one thing I was going to say to you, Anthony, was the last time you were on the show, you said in the pre-show, make sure you remind me to mention the education stuff. And I was like, yeah, definitely will. Show ended, and I didn't. So I felt really guilty about that, actually.
To be honest, I can't even remember what the point was now.
Well, you just gone, you in the midst of doing some work on it on that day. So maybe that.
Yes, I know what it is. Well, we're on 57 minutes. So do you want to open with that after housekeeping, or because if I start talking about it now, it'll not be done in 3 minutes.
It's entirely up to you. How long do you need? Maybe 5 or 10 minutes.
Probably 7 minutes, 6 minutes.
6 or 7 minutes. Okay. Well, in that case, there's nobody else here. The link has gone out, and the chances are everyone will hop on once the show starts live. But if you can indulge me and just rattle through housekeeping nice and quickly and concisely, I won't pander the answers. Just rattle through them, and then we'll go straight on to your point for 6 or 7 minutes. How's that sound?
The problem is the housekeeping questions. There's one pertinent question in there, isn't there? How do you have gas pressure without a container? That's another conversation.
Well, yeah, sure. We'll revisit that on the show as well.
Okay. Go.
Oh, well, we're not quite on time yet. We've gone another minute.
Well, okay. I'll summarise it then. I've had 4 reasons why she doesn't want my tutor does not want me to do this topic. And the 4 reasons, once I particularise them, you'll understand why she doesn't want to do it. But then based on my answer back to her, hopefully you'll understand why it's being done anyway. So this is the ruffling of feathers. I've not had a response from her yet. I did respond to her pretty much immediately. I'm waiting for her to get back to me. Watch this space.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, crypto and Patreon link in the info box below this video. Be sure to check out the nathanoakley.com website to keep up to date with the community debate on the nathanoakley.com forum. If you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you're currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. Now we are joined by Anthony Riley. How are you doing, Anthony?
That's not my name.
Sleeping Warrior, good to have you.
How great to be here. Thank you very much, Nathan.
My pleasure. Let's rattle our way through housekeeping then. So, any signs of curvature?
No, just a little bit of obstruction at the horizon that Jose thinks is curve.
What about axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Definitely no evidence of an axis, I'm sorry.
Fair enough. What about gas pressure being maintained without a container?
There's a claim. There is a claim. I'm not sure whether we should delve into this right now or come back to this, but
we'll come
somebody
back to it.
who claims to be a physics teacher is telling people that you can have a gas pressure next to a vacuum. And I'm not quite sure how we should deal with this because I keep trying to get him to have a conversation and he's reclusing under his shell saying that he said everything he needs to say in his video. What should we do about this one?
Well, where there's a claim, there's some blame, so we'll come back to that later. What about scientific evidence of gravity?
No, there's no evidence, scientific or otherwise, for gravity. Whatever gravity is or is not, current science tells us that it is a mathematical construct. So unless you're going to explain how, by showing a cause and effect relationship, a apple falls off a tree being caused by a mathematical construct, I'd love to see anybody do that.
About evidence of the distance to the sun. Hey, Chocolate.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Distance to the sun, I believe the distance to the sun is often claimed by ballers. I believe the most recent one is what's his bloody, that Australian dude, I can't remember his bloody name.
Wolfie?
No, the new guy with funny glasses.
No idea.
I keep thinking Graham, but his name's not Graham. I can't remember his bloody name. But doesn't matter. No, there's still no evidence of the distance to the sun because we can't even determine whether the sun is a physical object we can throw stones at or whether it's some kind of metaphysical object that proves creation.
What about evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Still waiting from Paul Voigt on that one. You can't have a molten iron centre of core of the Earth unless you can prove that there is one. Seismology is not science, so if you're going to think that seismology proves centre of the Earth, guess again, boys and girls.
Last but not least, evidence of the R value. Any signs of that?
Tim Osman complains that you've threatened him about it numerous times, but I don't know how anybody can have a threat from R as any kind of credible argument because it's an object that doesn't actually exist. It's a concept, and we all know that you can't treat a concept as real. So by claiming victim to an R means that he's actually applying a reification fallacy, and we all know that they don't exist. They're just concepts.
Well, that pretty much concludes the housekeeping. So about 3 or 4, maybe 5 days ago, Anthony was hard at work with his homework, looking into the education system and how it relates to the deception that is the Copernican model. So can you give us a bit of an update on that, Anthony?
Yeah, I've had my resistance back from the lecturer or the supervisor that's supervising, and basically her position. She's made 4 points against me doing this in writing. She doesn't want me to do it, and the reasons why she's given are as follows. The first one is, and I quote, bear with me. Where is it gone? There we go. Getting back to it. Where has it gone? I had it 1 minute ago and now it's disappeared.
No pressure. No pressure at all. Live audience.
I had it a minute ago. I can't even bloody find it. Why is this not doing what it should be doing? Here we go. So our first point was there's a lack of supervisory capacity on the topic in that they don't have any academics who specialise in education law. That's a fair point because how could you do a dissertation on something that there isn't any like supervision on, right? But I've already realised when I was trying to find I was trying to find a law team to put together to be able to get this matter if we wanted to pursue it immediately on the ground and running. And I just couldn't find anybody that specialised in education law. And that told me that there's a chronic shortage of education law practice. And that makes me wonder, well, isn't this part of the reason why we're in this mess? So my response was, that's okay. I don't need a specialist in education law. I would actually argue that I am the specialist because I've spent a lot of time researching this, and there's not anybody. If there's nobody there to specialise it, there's nobody there that knows it better than I do at the moment. So I'm prepared to just wing it on that basis that there isn't any education law specialists, and that is part of the problem. So my first point was that I don't feel as though I need supervision on this matter when I've got all the background that in this topic, generally speaking, that I need already. So I've said that I am that specialist, and like as I said, she hasn't come back to me just yet. But that was her first point. The second point is that the topic is still too much education policy rather than education law, and I said no, there is no policy in here at all. It is all to do with Section 10, Section 406, and Section 407 of the Education Act 1996. I do not reference policy at any point. So for whatever reason, she thinks there's education policy in there. Could be a red herring, could be a straw man, but nonetheless, it was dismissed on the basis that there's no policy in there whatsoever. I'm not interested in the policy. It's all about the actual legislation. So she's wrong there. She's either innocently got a misunderstanding or she's trolling me with a baller kind of comment, but there's no policy in there whatsoever. The third point she makes is that the research questions are mostly not legal in nature. And I said, no, the Dimmock case, although it is the only case here, means that the research questions are limited, but does not mean it is not legal in nature. It's the application of the Dimmock case overlapping with the legislation that is what I will be focusing on. So the research questions are not mostly legal in nature. Well, the research questions are simple. There's only three parts to it. Is it political? Is it partisan? Is it promotion? What research is the necessary in those three words? We've got the case that supports it. What else can I do? Yeah, it's narrow in its application, but the way that the heliocentric model is being dealt with is quite narrow as well. And then the final one is there is a complete lack of legal resources in the topic form. Is this perhaps why it's indicative of a study not being legal in nature? And I said, no, it's because there is a barrier between science and law. Science acts as a law unto itself and has been passively indoctrinating education for years with pseudoscience masked as science when it isn't at all. The Copernican model is taught to children as fact. It has no scientific validity. The legal point is whether or not this is lawful or not. And then I continued and I said, I'm here on this course to challenge current intellectual thinking as per the documentation in the brochure. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I will be putting a cat in amongst the pigeons because science is not a law unto itself, and it is illegal to promote partisan politics as per the decision in Dimmock under Section 406 of the Act.
Hello.
Just space for a sec, Nathan, while I got this call.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I'm going to summarise a couple of points and say hello to a couple of guests. So we've got Paul and Arwin. Hello to both of you.
Hello, good afternoon.
You there, Paul?
He's on mute.
I stepped away.
Yes, I stepped away for a second, but I'm here.
Thanks for saying hello. Brilliant stuff. So the bit that I want to stress that Anthony just said, and then hopefully when he comes back he can answer my question about Dimmock, so he can explain exactly what that is to the audience. But what he said was that the Copernican model is taught to children as scientific fact. It has no scientific validity. Now that is a very powerful statement because it is in essence the argument that is being put forward in the most concise way possible. So that is the argument. The Copernican model is taught as scientific fact. It has zero scientific validity. Those are the statements of facts that Anthony is putting across in this legal context. So I don't know if he's finished on his call or not. If so, hopefully he'll tell us about Dimmock. Are you there, Anthony, or do you need me to fill a bit more? I think he needs me to fill a bit more. How was your show, Arwin? Yeah, it was great. Loads of super chats.
He might have stepped away for a second.
Oh no, I'm back. Did I miss something?
Yeah, I just summarised by saying two things. One, the essence of the argument is as follows. The Copernican model is taught as scientific fact. It has no scientific validity. You made that very concise and clear in your responses to your tutor. However, I'd like you to actually summarise what the Dimmock case is, because people have heard you mention it on this show, just like it's so that it's concise and together.
All right, so the Dimmock case was about Al Gore. Al Gore was the vice president of the American country, and whilst he was in office, he was fine. But when he came out of office, for some reason, I don't know if it's a personal crusade on his behalf or whatever, but for some reason, he got heavily into the green movement in terms of saving the planet and global warming and all that. And whether or not that's an argument's not really the point. The point is that he brought out a promotional video, basically like frightening everybody into taking drastic action to prevent global warming, otherwise we'll all be dead. In a nutshell, that's generally the gist. Now, it was like contentious at the time because people were asking, well, is there any truth to this global warming? Is there any reason why you should be scaring us this way? And it ended up in schools. And the challenge was made by one of the teachers or one of the parents as to why is it that this is in school? This is like something that's not even part of the national curriculum. And if it is part of the national curriculum, it's diverse and it's very in your face and it's quite hard hitting. And I don't really see the value to it educationally and whatever. It shouldn't really be scaring the kids into whatever. It's an adult decision kind of thing. That was the angle of the parents. And it ended up going all the way to court, and we benefit from the decisions that the judges made on that particular case, because he defined for us now what is considered to be partisan political, what is considered to be promotion, and what is considered to be political. So we now have the benefit of knowing what a judge will say in regards to the interpretation of the issues that were raised as a result of the Al Gore video. Now, whether global warming was or was not an issue, it wasn't really the issue. The issue was whether or not children should be shown it, because it was considered to be quite right-wing and quite extreme at the time. And if anybody remembers watching it, they'll be familiar with the reasons for why there was objection. But alternatively, you could also argue that global warming itself is a concept that is apt in this context, because global warming it's already been kind of, it wasn't directly global, but the word global in itself is a loaded phrase. So in essence, it was questioning the decision-making authorities for why this document or why this video was being presented in school as part of the national curriculum, when it was very political and right-wing as in nature. And basically, it was being promoted because there wasn't anything alternative to support it or contrast it against.
Hold on 1 second, Anthony. Hi, Eric. How you doing? Hello. No sound, my friend. Sorry, Anthony.
So in essence, it was really. It's worth looking. Just type in Dimmock education case 2007, I think it was.
Yes, we do. With that interruption, as you're about to summarise, Anthony, I'm going to use that interruption just because it will tail on nicely. So one of the main points with Dimmock that I thought you'd highlight, you kind of diluted. Maybe you've got your reasons for that, or maybe it'll enter this into a discussion between you and I now. But for me, the global warming bit is absolutely key, because you can't have global warming, something deemed partisan politics, without the globe.
Yeah, and you're not wrong to point that out.
Just to interject real quick, isn't that the reasoning they changed it from global warming to climate change?
I don't know, it might be.
I believe, because I could be wrong, but I believe it's because some of the science didn't work out, so they actually had to change it from global warming to climate change.
Well, that might be the case, Chocolate. The point is that the term that's specific to this instance is global warming. deemed partisan politics. So who cares what they changed it to in the aftermath? They could call it frisbee warming for all I care. It doesn't matter.
I get it.
But the bit that's deemed partisan politics and is being referenced by Anthony is specifically global warming.
I diluted it mainly because from this perspective, from my perspective, it's more a case of what did I get from it that allows me to create the topic content that I'm going to do. And like I say, for me, the judge defined what is partisan political and what is promotion of. And they're the key points to me because they're the points I've got to drill home. So although it's quite narrow in its application, there's limited resources for it. She is quite right. That doesn't mean that I can't or won't be doing it. I've told her literally I'm going to be doing this anyway because it's something that I want to raise awareness to. And the fact that there's a shortage of education specialists kind of underlines the problem, because there doesn't seem to be very many people that are interested in this area of law, maybe because people are asleep. And that is literally my criticism back. I said that people appear to be asleep to this topic. And if I wake them up a little bit, then maybe there won't be such an asleep, laissez-faire attitude towards the Education Act, because what's the point in the law if it doesn't be applied? If everyone's asleep to it, what is the point in it, right?
Fair enough. Did you want to summarise it? Because it's been a fair old chunk and there's been a couple of interruptions, or not? Are you happy?
No, I mean, the short version is that I've had the resistance back saying why I should consider potentially doing something else, and I've said back to them I'm doing it. I've got my first copy ready done. Do you want to read it? And I've not had a response yet. So this is the resistance I was expecting, and it's in writing now. So it's a case of, well, I'm doing this and I'm not changing my mind. Let's either support me with it or I'll just do it myself. I don't need my hand holding. I know all the topic. I know enough of the topic to be able to argue it, and I know the law and I know the cases. There's only really one of them. So this is the fight, the internal fight.
Did you want to add something, Paul?
Well, I was just thinking about it. I was like, if you try to, you go after this in the way you're going, which I think you should. So I'm not saying no in this at all, but for you to begin to do this and challenge it, you're going to start to undermine the whole educational system. And I don't think they want that. They can't have that, because it will begin to question everything across the spectrum. So I say keep going, but I think that's the initial, probably even in the professor's mind or the person, your advisor's mind, is, well, if he goes through this can undermine everything.
One of the actual paragraphs I wrote back to her was, the conclusion will be that teaching only the Copernican model and segregating creation into RE and not even mentioning electric universe or alternative models means that it is actually promoting and caught by Section 406. The law needs to step in and control how science is taught. Nobody is aware of this, solicitors and barristers. They all seem to be asleep to this issue because it's never been challenged or made public before. And at the end of the day, I think the main problem is that people are being taught pseudoscience as science, and people aren't able to distinguish between what's real world and what's theoretical physics. Because it all seems to be plausibly real. That seems to be the way they're doing it. They're masking like pseudoscience as science. And that's obviously illustrated beautifully by Conspiracy Cat's most recent video on gas pressure. Should we segue into that, Nathan?
I don't see why not. So I'll preface this by saying, yesterday, I don't know if it's just teachers, but whenever educators talk on this subject, it makes my blood boil. I'm not going to lie. I do tend to get very sweary and very angry very fast when it comes to educators. So more in the past, it was Charles, Flat Earth Math. The same principle applied. I just saw red whenever he discussed this, because you catch him in a contradiction, and rather than acknowledge it, he'd laugh about it, just smirk, like it's amusing to him. And that, to me, just made my blood boil. With Conspiracy Cats, I assumed the same was true. It turns out maybe I'm being a bit over the top with my fury on account of the fact that it's not that he gets it and just smirks in the face of the contradiction. He doesn't get it. He's actually stupid.
Well, I'm not sure he is stupid. I think he might be intentionally doing this. He's definitely gaslighting me. I'm trying to have a conversation, right? Because I want to address the points that he made in his most recent video. And he's regressed back under his shell. He doesn't want to talk about it. He said his words to me where he's made all the points that he wants to make in the video, and I should respond to the video.
Hold on a second, Anthony. Did you want to add something, Paul?
No, I do have something to say, but my little one's screaming. I'll say I'm sorry.
That's fine. But if you do open your mic, though, you might as well interrupt, is what I'm saying.
Oh, it's okay. Real quick, Anthony, I dropped a link in the chat, in the Hangout chat. These are court cases where evolution and creation, or actually it was in court cases where here in the U.S. where they were fighting to get evolution taught in schools. So I don't know if this might be something you can look into. It might help your case or not, but there is precedent for, like, even evolution being, because creation was taught for a long time, but then they had to pass a law to say evolution could be taught. And now it's the kind of reverse has happened. You can't teach creationism in school, but it's only evolution. So just something.
Oh, right. So I remember, wasn't there something to do with is it called something like the 10 White Monkeys case or something?
I don't know what it was called, but one of the cases that I know of was right here locally in Tennessee. It happened probably within an hour of where I lived that one of the court cases occurred. So you probably could just do a quick Google search and find them. I just did this real quick, and you can see it. So I dropped the link in the chat. You can look at those and see if those might be anything might help you out.
So I'm just reading on this 2005 case. It says on December the 20th, 2005, Kitts Miller et al. And others against Dover. District Judge John E. Jones III ordered Dover Area School Board to refrain from maintaining an intelligent design policy in any school within the Dover Area School District. The ID policy included a statement in the science curriculum that said, quote, students will be made aware of gaps and problems in Darwin's theory and other theories in evolution, including but not limited to intelligent design. That's really pertinent. Teachers were also required to announce to their biology class that an intelligent design is an explanation of the origins of life that differs from Darwin's view. The reference book of Pandas and People is available for students to see if they would like to explore this view in an effort to gain an understanding of what intelligent design actually involves. As true with any theory, students are encouraged to keep an open mind. In his 139-page ruling, bloody hell, Judge Jones wrote that it was abundantly clear that the board's ID policy violates the Establishment Clause. Further, Judge Jones ruled that ID cannot couple itself from its creationist and thus religious antecedents. In reference to whether intelligent design is science, Judge Jones wrote, intelligent design is not science and cannot be adjudged as a valid scientific theory as it is failed to publish in peer-reviewed journals. Ooh, this is interesting. It has failed to publish in peer-reviewed journals, engage in research and testing, and gain acceptance within the scientific community. This was the first challenge to the constitutionality of teaching intelligent design in the public school science classrooms. That's really good, because what that's saying is that you're going to have to put some peer-reviewed journals into the scientific community for intelligent design. Now, in this case, it's going to be against the idea that we orbit the sun. But that's paraphrasing an American perception, and that's definitely something that I'm going to have to put into this, because that's really useful. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. They dismiss intelligent design as pure pseudoscience, but I've read creation books that talk about, information theory, like how do you get information?
Well, no, actually, it's not saying that. What it's saying is,
I know. Oh, go ahead.
It's not dismissing it. It's saying it's not science and cannot be adjudged as a valid scientific theory, as it has failed to publish in peer-reviewed journals, engage in research and testing, and gain acceptance in the scientific community. Well, isn't that exactly what FE Court is actually doing right now? They're engaging. Hold on.
Before you draw the contrast, while FE Court might get pissed off at me making this statement, I don't care. He's incorrect in his assertion that what makes something scientific is peer review and scientific consensus. That's an absolute bloody outrage, whoever that judge is, in his 139 pages of non-stop waffle. Well, ultimately speaking, he's defined science incorrectly. Science establishes the cause of phenomena. It studies the physical and natural world. It has absolutely nothing to do with the scientific consensus or peer review process. So he's just incorrect in his assertions. Our assertions, your assertion, that the Copernican model is not scientific, is based on the fact that it's not scientific. It is not established any cause and effect reasoning. It's not adhering to the scientific method. It's not science. It's claimed to be science because generally the consensus, including this judge, feel that peer review is what makes something scientific. It does not. He's just incorrect. Now, that's not necessarily the useful legal point within that document, because ultimately speaking, whether or not he states that you should not be biased in your assertions of either or of the two ontological primitives, then that's perfectly reasonable if you're to say not only should you not assert one or other as fact or science, but ultimately speaking, its teachings as science is wrong. That's correct. But saying that it's not science because it hasn't gone through peer review, screw you, Judge. You don't know what science is. Stick to law.
But hang on. This is where there's an overlap between two parallel systems that run side by side. And this is where, although science may claim things that they consider to be right, wrong, or otherwise, that there's a difference between what science claims to be true and what the law will perceive to be true.
No,
in that,
wrong.
if science says
I've got to stop you. Science does not claim things. That's not what science does. Science is a method. It does not claim things.
So, if science says science, the topic,
science
rather
doesn't
than
say. That's my point. Science doesn't have lungs. It doesn't have lips. It doesn't speak. It's a method.
If the topic
Anthony,
of science,
what you're now doing is the same as the judge, which is reifying science. Science is not a person. It doesn't have lips. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't write stuff down. It doesn't have a process. It doesn't have a peer review. It's a method, a very strict method to establish the cause of an effect in the physical and natural world. He's just wrong about that.
He's talking about the subject. I don't think he's talking about the scientific method in this context. He's talking about the topic.
Then he's talking about a cultural phenomena.
That's exactly my point, Anthony. So he's talking about scientific in the colloquial sense, when the colloquial sense is the very problem we're suffering. The problem we have at the moment is that what we take as reality is scientific consensus and peer review. Well, science exclusively deals with the physical and natural world. We should listen to science. Science should be what dictates how we go forward in our understanding. But what's actually happened is science, the terminology, has been hijacked to mean precisely what that judge said, and he is wrong. Now, we should be led by what he claims is science, and he's correct in his assertion that either everything created from nothing, or what did they use as the terminology? Intelligent design. Those two either-or should not be taught as science. That would be correct. But he's saying it could be taught as science if you had a load of peer review on one or other of them. No, that's not establishing cause and effect. That's not a naturally observed phenomenon. That's not science.
I think the point he's trying to make is that in science, there is a perception of A, B, or C. Science, the topic, not science, the method. Science, the topic. And I think what he's trying to say is...
topic. This is my... I'm sorry, Anthony. I know you want to side with him because he's got a legal point and it's useful, but this is...
I'm not siding with him. I'm contrasting what he's saying to what is perceived by our friend Paul, because what Paul's point was that he's saying that evolution is... Well, creation was considered to be pseudoscience. And that's not what I was saying. That's not what he said. What he said was it's not considered science because it didn't have a valid application to the peer-reviewed journals. I'm contrasting what Paul said. I'm not supporting the judge. So don't be too quick to jump on me. I'm just correcting what Paul's perception was, because that's not quite what the judge said.
Yeah, likewise, I'm not jumping on you. I'm just pointing out that the judge is wrong. But the reason I'm pouncing on it isn't because I'm criticising you or Paul, or even the judge, because it is the consensus, and that is the problem. So if you want to get to the root cause of why we're in the mess we are, with us all believing we live on bloody spinning balls, that judge's statement typifies it beautifully. He's saying it's not science, but it would be if all these scientists agreed. Well, no, not at all. That's why we have the problems we have, and why you can state as fact that the Copernican model, which is taught as science... Now, he would say, well, that's fine. All the guys and the dudes with the labels and the white coats, they've all agreed it's science, so that's okay, man. No, you just don't understand what science is. If that was the judge that you had, Anthony, he'd say, it is science. Look, I've got all these peer-reviewed journals from Copernicus himself. So, no, science has been hijacked. The terminology is wrong. And that's the thing we really should fight against, because when people say, this is science. Science says. The scientific consensus says that. We all agree within science that. all of these statements are what give men with no power to lie to us. Just make stuff up, little stories.
But can you see how contentious it is already, and we haven't even started? Literally, the first hurdle, we've found something that's contradictory and it's contentious, and it's like immediately invokes immediate reaction, regardless of whether you're pro it, against it, or even a neutral. Everybody wants to talk about this.
Can I use this
Good. It needs a reaction, and people should have a reaction to it.
Sorry, Chocolate. I'm really sorry. I've left it. I keep meaning every time I open my mouth to actually introduce Earth Flattener, and I haven't yet. But he's going to prove very useful in a few moments. How you doing, Earth Flattener?
Hi. How are you? Good.
Flattener, hey. What up?
One thing I was thinking of. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey. One thing I was thinking of. I appreciate you, Anthony, for clearing that up. I appreciate it. I kind of filter it through my own lens sometimes, as everybody does. But I was thinking that probably the attorney, though, when he was making his case, the only way he could make his case in that specific incident was through a peer-reviewed process. And so in that sense, that is the consensus now, that if it doesn't go through a peer-reviewed process, and we know that's not necessarily always true, because we know there's a huge problem. Sorry, she decided to start screaming when I started talking. That's the consensus on what science is, and so the attorney probably had to do that. And of course, since no creation, no creationists or creation or design or the design theory has gone through a peer review process, they automatically reject it. But if there's a problem with the peer review process, even creation or design will not get in there because they've already got a predisposition against it. But if the attorney had gone after what Nathan was saying, well, science is not that, it's something else, then it would have been probably a different ruling. It could have been a different ruling.
Absolutely. I do agree. But I think that's really where FE Core are going to start influencing things, because when they publish their documents from the Balaton, which is being written up now, the Balaton observation, then that will be a peer-reviewed document that is in Nature or whatever journal it ends up being going in, identifying that there doesn't appear to be a convex nature to standing water. So that's going to be just one document. They've got 7 experiments lined up in the next 12 months, 8 if you include the Foucault's pendulum, the Cavendish nonsense that they're going to try and repeat, but 7 that are official. And when these things all get written up and then published for peer review, all of a sudden then that makes like 8 or 9 documents that then does qualify it for science in this. But I mean, that won't even be the limbo bar in terms of the English. That's just persuasive text from our perspective, from a legislation that doesn't, or rather a jurisdiction that doesn't have any sway other than influence. But nonetheless, it's interesting to see that they've had these kinds of conversations before in a different context, but the same kind of thing. Evolution over creation is a big topic, in the same way that heliocentrism is going to probably end up just like that. People will be talking about heliocentrism the way that they talk about evolution, and that's only a good thing.
Okay. One thing that I've been thinking about is just the very idea that, like, why do we even need to teach theory of the beginning of the universe or anything like that? How are they so sure about it that they're like, we need to put this in the curriculum? It should be more of a philosophical approach, like asking questions, and we figure this out together. It's like, I feel like that's one of the reasons we're in this big mess is things are just taught as matter of fact. And it's like, when I just looked into this a month and a half ago, into the flat earth, when I first started, I thought it was a joke. Well, then I actually saw the questions they were having. I was like, man, I never had that question before. I've never considered that. And then it's like, you start seeing things differently. And that's not what school does and education. It's just teaching you this is how things are, and you can't really question it.
Well, who knows? But at least if awareness can be raised and people start genuinely talking about how this is, then that's what's needed. This stuff is science, according to what they're telling us. But the reality is, it's reification. It's not science at all.
Hello, Unorthodox.
Yeah, I think global warming and evolution and thermodynamics, all these things go hand in hand to give us a perception of the universe that we live, so that way we can be scared and controlled, because it has a beginning, it has an end, everything is going to come to an end, we're going to die, you know. So I think that's the narrative. That's why they
Yep.
teach all these things.
I think it's so that they force us to appeal to man, science, to look for the answers.
Yeah, for sure.
The whole setup of the lore of all of these delusional lores is to eventually try to force us to let go of reason, morality, balance, and just basically try to motivate us to blow ourselves up one way or the other. That's what I think it's all for.
You know, that reminds me, I've started some debates on a music forum, and people are like telling me, why would NASA lie? Like, what motivation? They're the vanguard of society. They're the last hope for human race, and they're going to help us go to Mars and all this stuff. And I'm like, I didn't think about it right away, but after like a week of thinking about it, I was like, they answered their own question. It's like NASA and these scientists have become gods in a way. It's like they're considered, it's esoteric, you know, they have this great knowledge and they can save us. So I mean, it's like it kind of answered their own question.
That brings up a question I've had. Why is it in our consciousness that we do not question NASA? And I've given that thought. Why it's been. I mean, I know we do, so I'm not saying we down in this panel, but in general, society and people in general do not question NASA. And I started thinking about all the movies I've watched over the years, and one of the first ones that I think of is the movie called The Right Stuff. If you think about that movie, that was put in, I think, back in the 70s, if I remember right. You know, these men have what it takes to do whatever. That's basically what the movie's saying. Then if you think about every other movie that you've seen throughout your life, there's this thing that, you know, like I remember Independence Day, you know, Will Smith, hot jock pilot, seems to have what it takes, but he still can't make it into NASA. You know, even that one little thought that it's just a letter it's passing, but it makes you think, oh, well, even Will Smith as this hot shot pilot can't get into NASA. You know, it's like it's like a subconscious thing that there's no movie that you can't find that shows any negativity towards NASA at all. None. Well, obviously, we know the movie that just came out recently. It's just like almost as a subliminal message that's been pushed out for the last 50 years, you know.
Well, Nathan, if you just present my screen in a sec while I read from NASA's webpage. When people question why would NASA lie, check this out. This is the webpage that you can just find this by typing in Rob Simon NASA, Simon double M, and it describes what he does and what it says. I'll read just one paragraph. It says, "What's the coolest thing you've ever done as part of your job at Goddard?" And then listen carefully to the words that he uses in this. He says, "The last time that anybody took a photograph from above low Earth orbit that showed an entire hemisphere was in 1972 during Apollo 17. NASA's Earth Observing System satellites were designed to give a checkup of Earth's health. By 2002, we finally had enough data to make a snapshot of the entire Earth. So we did. The hard part was creating a flat map of the Earth's surface with 4 months worth of satellite data. Rito Stockley, now the Swiss Federal Office of Meteorology and Climatology, did much of this work. Then we wrapped the flat map around a ball, and my part was integrating the surface clouds and oceans to match people's expectations of how the Earth looks from space. That ball became the famous blue marble." He's literally admitting that he converted a flat map of the Earth's surface into a ball. I mean, if NASA are the linchpin and the benchmark for everything that is cool in society, and this is where they got the blue marble from, he admits he turned a flat map into this. So I want to see.
He also admitted he's never been to space. Sorry.
I want to see the flat map he based it on. Let's have a look at that. Sorry, go on. What did you say?
I was just saying he also admitted that he's never been to space.
Yeah, I just find it interesting that it's the people's expectations of how the Earth should look from space that he was basing his work on. I just find that ironic.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if he consulted with astronauts who'd been to space so they could help him, you know?
Are you aware of some camera that takes three-dimensional photos, Riley?
Am I aware of what camera?
Are you aware of a camera that takes three-dimensional photos?
No.
I am. Yeah. You can get cameras with 2 lenses on them that take 3D photos.
I think movies do that all the time, don't they? There's a
Did
lot
they
of
have those back then when that was made?
Why is this why is this little tangent relevant?
Because that's the only way it was possible of doing that back then. Back then when they did the Blue Marble, they didn't have the cameras Nathan's speaking about. It's true, they do have those today. They're not very common.
I don't think that's a relevant point, to be honest.
I would argue against that. They've had that technology for 3D imaging for a long time. There was 3D movies out back in the 60s.
Very, very uncommon.
But I don't think that's what Nathan or Anthony's point was, though. Even it's a flat image that he's using. There's no there's no panning out and taking a photo of the whole thing. So I think that's Anthony's point.
Yeah, he's converted a flat map into, and he's wrapped it around a sphere. Well, isn't that kind of our point? Can we not see that flat map that he used? Let's have a look at that. Let's have a little look.
Do we have audio of him actually saying that, or just a quote?
Say that again. Have we what?
Do we have audio of that guy actually saying that, or do we just have a quote of him saying that?
Well, it's a quote from NASA's own website. I'm sure he's been quoted. Well, he did say something similar, didn't he? He said something like,
"It's Photoshop because it has to be."
Yeah, it's in a video too. It's
been played to death. It's Photoshop because it has to be.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard that one, but I'm talking specifically that he took a flat map and wrapped it around a ball quote. I've seen the quote, but I haven't seen him say that.
You can see the first stages if you just do a Google search. You can see like what looks like a squashed donut with these like track lines running along it, making it up.
Yeah, I really don't see the problem with using composite images. It comports with reality. All the distances match as far as the known distances.
You don't know that all the distances match. You haven't tested any of them.
Hold on 1 second, Anthony.
I have.
Sorry, just 1 second. You said, I don't see the problem with making a composite that comports with reality. You obviously didn't listen to what Anthony said. He's used flat maps. That's the reality bit. The end result is your globe bit. So what you're saying is you should comport with reality. Well, why isn't it flat then?
So you have a flat map that has.
Did you not listen
real
to what
distances?
You literally didn't listen to a bloody word Anthony said, did you?
They don't work. They don't work, Nathan.
Sorry,
The flat
you
maps
didn't
don't
listen
work,
to
just
a
like the flat
word
pictures
Anthony
don't
said,
comport.
did you? Unorthodox. You literally ignored every word he said.
Let me read that last part, that last sentence. It says, by 2002, we finally had enough data to make a snapshot of the entire Earth. So we did. The hard part was creating a flat map of the Earth's surface. Hang on. The hard part was creating a flat map of the Earth's surface with 4 months worth of data, satellite data. The Swiss meteorology, whatever, did much of this work. Then we wrapped the flat map around a ball. That's literally what they say.
So, unorthodox, according to you, it should comport with reality, and the reality is flat, according to that statement. Did you not hear any of that the first time? Second time you heard it now?
I don't see the problem with making it a model that comports with reality.
Sorry, that's not what you said earlier. Sorry, that's not what you said. You said it should comport with reality. I don't see the problem. Well, it doesn't. Now you're saying there's no problem with making a bloody model. So completely in the face of what you stated.
Product.
Shut up, or I'm going to kick you out real fast. So you've just contradicted yourself. It should comport with reality. Now it's okay to make a model, which isn't reality. So which is it?
The final product, Nathan.
So which is it? Those two different statements in contradiction with each other that you've just made in the last 2 minutes. 1, it should comport with reality. 2, it should be okay to accept a model. Which one is true?
A model of reality, Nathan.
Oh, so not the reality itself. It shouldn't comport with reality like you first stated.
It should comport with the model. Should comport.
That's not what you said the first time. You said it should comport with reality. Now you've changed your position again. So you're a double-speaking, flip-flopping asshole then. That's what you are.
No, I haven't changed my
position. You said it should comport with reality. Now, with an upward inflection, you said it should comport with the model, which is completely in the face of what you said originally.
Let me say it again. The model should comport with reality.
Oh, it doesn't. It's made from flat maps, you stupid dick. That's the point.
Unorthodox. What the point of this photo wasn't to be a model or to like accurately represent anything. It was a picture of Earth from space. It's not meant for navigational purposes. It's just they're trying to show off that, oh, we got a picture from space. It's not meant to, because he photoshopped clouds and stuff. I mean, if it's supposed to represent reality, then why is it photoshopped?
Let's talk about the geometry.
Well, yeah, but the source of the image starts off with flat maps, and then they have to wrap it around a ball.
Yes,
And
if you
that's
take
the
a high
problem.
resolution, high altitude photo, it's going to be a flat image. There's no three-dimensional information in that image unless you use a very specialized type of camera. That's what they did. They used a traditional camera that gives you a 2D image. In order to put it on a ball, you have to deform it in some way.
So I
let
think
me
the
get it
point
straight.
of this
They
entire
take the images
discussion.
and then they have to fudge them, so it's not comporting with reality anymore to make it go on a ball. Again, in the face of your original assertion that it should comport with reality, which it does not.
No, the globe comports with reality. All the distances
That's
are
just a
correct.
religious
You guys don't
assertion
have a
now.
flat
So it's
map
now
that has
become-
accurate
Stop!
distances.
Stop!
The globe has
Stop!
accurate
Stop!
distances. Nathan,
Stop!
right?
Stop!
There's no
Stop!
flat map model
Stop talking!
that
You're
has
going to get
accurate
kicked out if you don't stop rumpusing. That's just a
I'm
religious
speaking. You
assertion.
didn't let me finish my point.
Yeah, because you made a religious assertion and that doesn't fly here. The globe comports with reality. What kind of religious assertions do you think you can get away with here? I'll tell you. None. Don't make your religious assertions here.
You tell me the distances on the globe don't match the distances in reality.
How would you
Distances
know
on
that
what
when
globe?
there's no
Your
tracking
model.
device over the...
There is no globe. We don't live on a globe.
Well, we have known distance
Shouldn't the
between cities.
distances in reality be the distances in reality? Why would you have to make a globe out of reality? We all experience this as flat.
You don't have to. It's just an academic exercise.
don't have
and you have
to?
to.
They don't have to. They just
I mean,
want
you don't
to.
have to. I guess if you wanted to navigate properly, you would have to. But I mean, just sitting on my couch here, no, you don't just have to. We don't do things.
Navigate
Like, what does
properly
that mean?
using a globe.
Let's just check that
Yes.
claim. Let's check that claim. Find me a navigational globe.
I made one.
No, you said if we wanted to navigate, then we
globe
should make a
that you can
globe.
use to
Well,
navigate.
show me it. They do navigate. Let's see what they've been using. Clearly, according to you, globes, right?
Yeah, globe projections, Nathan. Projections
sorry,
of the globe. Do you
sorry,
have
you've
a
added
flat
a
map
word.
that's not a projection
Sorry,
of the globe?
you're just adding
and isn't
words in.
distorted in
Stop.
some way?
Stop.
Stop.
What do you
Let me
mean?
finish my point.
Stop. Yeah, because you've
Let
said
me
it. I've heard.
stop.
I've heard your point. I'm going to kick you out if you keep talking over me. Now it's not globe. It's globe projection. What do they look like?
They're distorted.
No. What shape are they? Are they globe shaped? These projections.
Is a flat projection globe.
Oh, it's a flat projection, is it? Oh, right. So you tell us that it's come from a globe, and that means they're navigating with globes. No, they're navigating with what you claim comes from a globe, and you call it a global projection. It's actually flat, though, right? Actually
I
flat.
can show you exactly how it's projected.
Sorry,
Nathan. Would you
ask
like me
again.
to walk you through how
Just-
the globe is
no, no.
projected onto a flat
I don't care
surface?
what you tell me it does. It is, in fact, flat. Correct?
Something always warps, though. The distances aren't proper. The
Sorry,
lines of latitude
you didn't
aren't
answer my
conserved.
question. You
There's
seem to be
always something
sidestepping
warped.
it yet again. I don't know why you're scared of my question. Maybe it's because you have a religious belief about this shit. So, the actual thing being used is flat, correct?
Yes, but warped, Nathan.
So they're not
You
using
have to-
globes then. So when you asserted that they're using globes to navigate and we should make a globe, what you actually do is tell us how they project a globe, your religious belief, onto something that's actually practical and useful, which is a flat map, which is what they actually use, not globes.
Well, you think we should carry around, like, blow-up globes?
I'm finished. You're going to get kicked out real fast. I understand how you
Yeah, I'm
religious
making too much
fundies
sense, aren't I?
need to assert your religious belief over and over at the top of me over and over again. I get it. However, you said we should make a globe if we need to navigate, whereas actually what happens is they use something that you assert your religious belief onto, a global projection. And what they actually use is not a globe, they use a flat map.
Yes, but the first...
Yes, but... So you don't use globes then? Not yes, but... Yes, that's correct, Nathan. We don't use globes because they're not very useful or accurate. We project them onto flat maps which are useful. Yes, that's my point.
Step, Nathan. Make a
So,
globe.
we've got a bullshit picture of a globe from space that you can't travel to, you haven't experienced, and is a second law of thermodynamics violation. It's been produced from flat images and then converted into this globe by a piece of software called Photoshop. And when you actually do anything for navigation contrary to your assertion, they use flat maps. So it's all looking pretty flat.
Which is a projection from a globe.
So you say, according to your religious fundy belief. Yeah, you want us to believe that they navigate using globes. They don't. They use flat maps. I keep saying it, you keep ignoring it, and then telling me about your religious belief that it's come from a globe, even though what's actually being used is flat.
Step 1 is make a globe, Nathan.
Oh, is it? Well, show me the globe they use to navigate. Do you want to actually produce this? If step 1 is make a globe, show it me with accurate navigational tools applied to it. Hello? Show it me!
Hello? You want me to show it? You want me to show it to you? Okay. Hold on, let me dig it up. I'll show it to you. Are you going to concede if I show it to you, or are you just going to walk around in circles again?
If it's an accurate globe used for navigation, as we must first do this, then let's have a look at it.
You could just watch my video. You want me to pull up my video? I'll show you.
Excuse me, this isn't you doing what you said. It should be just at your fingertips. You've made a claim. First, we must make this globe for accurate navigation. So where is it?
Every map is a globe projection, Nathan.
Sorry, we've already gone over this, you circle-jerking asshole. Every globe map that you assert your religious belief onto, that it's actually spherical when it's a flat piece of paper, is flat. Yeah, we know.
Are you aware of a flat map that's not a projection of a globe, Nathan?
I couldn't give a crap what you claim a flat map is. I'm not stupid. When you say that flat map is a globe, I look at it and go, no, it's not, it's a flat map. Oh, well, no, but I describe it with this extra word, projection, which makes my fantasy religion about being on a sphere mean that that flat map is actually globe-shaped. No, it isn't. It's always flat, and they only use flat maps.
But the
So
distances
unless you can
aren't
do
what is
as
in
you have
reality, though,
suggested,
Nathan.
still haven't finished, just want to talk over me, you bloody religious fundy, can't keep your mouth shut. You've made a claim. First, we must make a globe in order to navigate. Now show it me.
Okay. I'll give you a really good example.
Example, I want to see the globe they use to make the projections from.
That's where I'm getting that for you, Nathan.
Excellent.
iPhone wallpaper.
Now, there's many different ways to do this. I'm going to show you how they do it with the Mercator projection.
Excuse me, did I ask to see a projection? No. Let's do it for the third time, for this complete retard who is deaf and stupid. I do not want to see a flat projection. That's flat. You have said we must first make a globe. Now I'm asking you to show me that globe. Do you have a comprehension issue with the word globe? Because you keep seeming to want to go to something that's flat.
No, I think you have a comprehension with what I'm saying, Nathan.
No. I'm saying produce this globe you say we must first produce for accurate navigation.
Yeah, it seems you have an understanding. Seems you're not understanding what I'm saying,
I don't have
Nathan.
any trouble with my comprehension skills. I understand what I've asked for. A globe that's needed
Are you
first.
showing my screen, Nathan?
That's not a globe.
Let me remind it. Hold on.
That's not a globe.
Watch. Just watch. This is what you asked for. Watch. Here's
Sorry,
the globe.
who's using this for navigation?
Here's the globe.
Excuse me, who is using this for navigation?
Oh, where's the molten iron core?
There you go. You see, you spread it out.
Sorry, you're not answering
And this is
me.
where the
Who
warping
is
comes.
using
This
this
is
for
where the distances
navigation?
don't match. You see
You're
the
not
edges, they
answering
get
me.
warped.
You're not answering me. Who's using
There
this?
you go, Nathan. Exactly what you wanted. Take a
It's
globe, put
you've
it on a
just
flat
shown our
surface.
point.
See how distorted it looks now?
It's a square map. So you're showing us a flat square map. That's your proof. You have me on. That's square and flat.
Yeah, the distances don't match, Nathan.
Oh,
It doesn't match reality.
Maybe you don't seem to understand unorthodoxy. Show me the one that's accurate. The one that does match.
There isn't a flat, accurate map. There is
no.
That's why,
You seem to be
why
very
flat
confused.
Earth isn't a thing because
Stop
you guys don't
strawmanning me.
have
You're going to get kicked out.
a
You're just
flat Earth
rumpusing me
map.
every time, you asshole. Yeah, you've made a claim that to be accurate, you must first make a globe. I've asked you to show me that globe. You've shown me a square map and told me how that's not accurate. That's a straw man. So show me
To have
the
any
globe.
inclination of
Shut up!
accuracy.
How dare you? I'm going to kick you out, you asshole. This is your last chance. Right, you've said you've got a globe. First, we must make a globe to be accurate. I want to see that accurate globe. Not a square map that you say is not accurate. That is the antithesis of what I want. I want the accurate globe one.
That's what they showed in the beginning, Nathan. Did you not see the first part of the video?
Sorry, that was used for navigation, was it? The bit in the beginning?
Yes. Yes.
Do you want to show me an example of someone using that sphere for navigation?
No.
No. Just no.
I'll show you my model that I built if you want me to. I'll show you my model that I built that shows.
Unorthodox, just
Sorry,
concede.
according to you, navigators need to first build a sphere. You've taken us to something that you've told us is incorrect and not sphere-shaped and backs our argument that they're flat. That when in use they're flat. Then you strawmanned us claiming that it wasn't accurate. Like I give a crap. I want you to show me the accurate one you claimed must first be made in order to perform navigation. So show me that one.
I just showed it to you, Nathan.
You said it was inaccurate. So you're now lying. Don't piss me off.
What?
You're not showing us the accurate one. You just told us how it wasn't accurate.
You said show me how they turn a globe into a flat map.
No, that's not what I asked for. Now you're clearly stupid or deaf. That's not what I asked for. So don't misrepresent what I've asked for. You made a claim. You must first make a globe in order to perform accurate navigation. I am challenging you to perform a simple task of actually backing that claim by producing it, not continually strawmanning me.
Okay, well, I have to show you my video, which is a model of...
Oh, your video. So you, with delusions of grandeur, think that you are the arbiter of navigational maps, do you?
Yeah, I made a model.
I don't give a crap what you've done. You asserted that in order to navigate, not you, you've probably never left your country. They must first make a globe in order to perform accurate navigation. Not you, bonehead. Show me what they, the great they, that are using globes to navigate, use. And must do first in order to do this accurately. That's your claim.
I just showed you, Nathan.
No, you didn't. You showed us something that was an unfolding of an inaccurate square flat map.
So how many cities, what degree of accuracy?
Oh, now you're just a stuttering, gibbering wanker. So, are you going to back your claim that you must first make an accurate globe in order to be able to navigate? Or are you just going to continually strawman me and stutter like a blithering buffoon? Is that really all you've got? Or can you actually back your claim?
Do you want me to navigate to and from, Nathan?
No. I'll say it again. Then I'm going to kick you out if you don't produce it. You made a claim that we must first make an accurate globe in order to navigate. I am challenging you to produce that according to you, come first. The accurate globe. Where the hell is it? Last chance, then I kick you out.
You have to tell me where you want to and from, Nathan. Where do you want me to navigate? Where do you want me to go from and come to or go from?
Anywhere.
What's my starting distance? What's my ending?
You're gonna carry on talking? You've asked me where from and to.
Okay.
Anywhere on an accurate globe that you've claimed must first be made.
Okay. So show my screen.
I see my sunset. I don't see an accurate globe being used for navigation on there.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to pull up my video of my model that I made.
Your
of Earth.
Your video of your model. No.
Yes, of Earth. Exactly what you wanted. This is exactly what you wanted, Nathan.
Okay, no worries. Before you do then, let's make sure we're on common ground. Tell me what I want.
You want me to show a globe and how you navigate using the globe.
No. An accurate globe that is used for navigation.
Yes. That's what I'm going to show you.
Okay?
Oh, really? So who's using it for navigation?
Hold on, Owen. Let's see it.
Hold on, let me turn the volume off. So this is a video. I can't share the model with you because it's on my iPad and I can't share my
Sorry,
screen.
are you
or else I
telling me
would
that
just
sailors
jump on
use
there
this
and show you
video?
the model.
Excuse me, dumbass. Are you telling me that sailors use this video?
Yes, and you absolutely can. You can use
Sorry,
my model.
you're saying
that I
that
built.
sailors first produced this video, then went on to produce the global projections from this video.
No, I'm
That's what you're
saying you
claiming.
could use my model to make an accurate globe.
Sorry,
All it needs
no.
to be done is-
We're not trying to make an accurate globe. According to you, you first have to have an accurate globe, and then go
Yes, that's what
to
this
make...
is.
You're just going to rumpus me, asshole. We're about to round out the show. Do you want to get kicked out before the end?
Not particularly, but I mean, if you want to kick me because I'm making sense, go ahead.
No, you're not making sense. You're not listening, and you're not repeating back what I've told you to do in order to back your claim that first you must make a globe that is accurate in order to perform navigational functions. So, I want to see the globe that was first made that is accurate. Not a model that you say you can use to make a globe. No, the globe that is accurate. That one.
This is it right here.
Okay, let's have a look.
I mean,
You
it's
have any
getting,
on?
maybe I should put it on fast forward.
Do you want to point at Ellis Island? Go back to New York and point at it for me.
So I'm using the city
Excuse me,
center.
are you deaf?
The city centers
Are you
of
deaf?
Paris,
Are you
Sydney,
deaf?
Cape Town,
Are
LA,
you deaf?
and New York.
Just keep
Accurate
talking.
map, man.
Go to Ellis
It
Island.
is. Watch, I'll show you right here.
Look at
Are you
this.
looking at
This-
my screen? Hold on,
Sorry,
hold on.
this-
Look at my
this-
screen.
You
I
can get
see
on a plane,
a sphere
on a
with a
boat,
load of
anywhere.
triangles on it.
This will bring you there.
Are you telling me
Absolutely.
this
If
can be
you
used
use
for
this,
navigation?
it absolutely
You
will.
complete and
So I'm
utter
showing you that the
retard.
latitude and longitude points are correct
Sorry.
at this moment right here.
I don't
We'll
even
get
see
to-
any
we'll get
land
to the
masses on
distance.
there.
Super useful.
There's not
We
even
know
any
the
land
distance.
masses on there, you complete idiot. What are you talking about? There's nothing on this.
This is a 3D sphere, Nathan.
I have a
Oh, why? You think this is being used for navigation, do you complete retard? This is the level of stupidity we occasionally have to deal with on this show. People who present a video having claimed that you must first make an accurate sphere. He then takes us to a video with little lines and triangles drawn over it and claims that this is what sailors have been using, having first developed this as the accurate globe that they then developed projections from. The guy is possibly the most stupid person I've ever encountered. An orthodox, you total retard. And with that, I'll say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the debating panel, including an orthodox, for giving us all a damn good laugh, for making this debate possible, and of course, a massive thank you to all of you, the live audience, for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. If you're watching on either the Nathan Oakley or Nathan Oakley 1980 streams, then stay tuned as there will be a short after show where we berate unorthodox a little further before rounding out and then starting the next live show. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and join the community forum. Link is in the info box below this video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
You're not giving me. I'm about to ask you a question. Are you
Go ahead, go ahead.
This sphere that the ancient sailors took with them.
Okay, hang on.
This is right here.
Hang on. Show me a video of a ship captain using your globe or any globe to navigate.
That's right. That was the question.
Yeah, that was my question.
You want me to show you a video of a sea captain using a globe? Are you joking?
That's what I originally asked for. According to you, this is based on how possible it is to navigate using maps. Your claim being that you must first make a sphere. We've asked you to produce it, and this is the shit that you give us.
Nathan, there's no flat. Let me finish a thought here before you guys jump in.
No, I haven't done berating you, stupid dumbass. You haven't produced a sphere. They don't need to produce a sphere. All maps are flat. They call them global projections so stupid retards like you believe the religion that you've been indoctrinated with. You haven't proven anything. They don't need to make a sphere. The sphere is inaccurate and so are the projections because they've got bullshit sphericity at the heart of them, which does not work because we do not live on a sphere. You won't produce an accurate sphere. Shut up! You won't produce an accurate sphere because there isn't one. We don't live on one. It's not possible to live on a sphere. You can't be on a sphere in the middle of a vacuum of space. It's all nonsense religion. And that's all you have, and this crap video, having been asked to demonstrate that you must first produce a sphere to do accurate navigation, something you unequivocally have not backed in any way, shape or form.
Well, you have to first show me a flat map that has accurate distances. The globe...
Excuse me, you straw man using asshole. Did I make that claim? No. Did you make a claim about first having to make a globe? Yes. So, you straw man using asshole? No, I won't do anything of the sort. You, on the other hand, cannot back your bullshit claim. All you can do is continually talk over me.
I've done more than... I've got evidence backing up what I'm saying. On a globe, the distances, the known distances, work out. Here's
Who gives a crap? It's not an accurate navigation tool. You straw man using asshole. What part of this aren't you getting, dickhead? Yeah? This is not backing your claim that you must first build a working sphere that is accurate in order to produce global projections. All this is a bullshit video that you have put on your YouTube channel because you are a dumbass.
There isn't an accurate flat map on this Earth that has accurate distances. The only...
Oh, really? You'd expect them to be, though, wouldn't you? If they're global projections and the original globe they've come from is accurate, you'd expect those projections to be accurate, wouldn't you? If they've come from a sphere?
No, you can't lay a 3D surface on a 2D surface without some inaccuracies, Nathan.
Oh, I would say it's the other way around. You can't lay a 2D surface onto a 3D surface and have it be accurate. That would be my argument. Now, given that they generally use flat maps, and in fact, as far as I'm aware, never use spheres to navigate, you would think, given that it's only, according to you, possible to navigate accurately on a sphere, you'd think that would be the go-to for navigation, wouldn't you? You'd think that's all they'd use so it was accurate. And yet they don't.
Where are all these spherical maps installed in ships and larger modes of transportation? Where are all these spheres installed in the cockpits for proper orientation? Where are they? Oh, they're not using them? They've never used them?
Well, you think they're going to carry out some massive three-dimensional object when you can fold up a folded piece of paper?
Projection maps.
It's so dishonest.
Why do they keep resorting to flat projection maps? Why don't they just install that globe map that's so perfectly accurate in every mode of transportation? Why don't they just do that?
Exactly. If
because
the globe
it's
was accurate, that's precisely what they would do, Arwin. They would use a globe, because that would be the most accurate way of doing it, wouldn't it? And yet they don't. But that's going to be his argument. Well, when we put them on flat maps, they stop being accurate anymore because it distorts it. Well, then why the hell would you want to put it on a flat map then? Wouldn't you just keep it in the most accurate format possible?
No, convenience, Nathan. Have you ever heard of a convenience store?
Yeah, of course. When you're navigating across Earth's surface, you don't want to worry about accuracy. You want to worry about being able to fold the thing and put it in your pocket when you've got an entire ship to put a globe on.
Yeah.
Do you think that's reasonable? That people...
Yeah, I think it's a very reasonable argument that you've got there. I think they should sacrifice all accuracy in favour of convenience. Because that's what everybody wants when they're out at sea. They want the convenience. They don't want to be accurate. They don't want to know that they're going to certainly arrive at their destination with an accurate map. They want a convenient map. In fact, I can hear the Navy crying out, "More convenience! More convenience!" No, I don't think so, Unorthodox. I'm pretty damn certain that if there was a more accurate way of doing it, they'd pick that way rather than the less accurate way in favour of bloody convenience. Because most people aren't stupid. Most people prefer accuracy over convenience. You might prefer convenience because you are a complete and total bonehead. So I don't care what you think.
You have zero arguments. Can we at least let Arwen make an argument?
Look.
We made the same argument.
In the past, right? Traveling vast distances on ships over the ocean, incredibly dangerous. If you got lost, there would be a good chance you'd never show up again. You'd die. Horror stories. Why would they go for the convenience of folding up a map instead of just making absolutely sure they orientate perfectly by installing a globe map in the very cockpit of the ship? If the cockpit's going to be destroyed, the ship is probably going to be destroyed anyway. Why wouldn't they do that? Why wasn't it default? If their very lives dependent on the perfection of their orientation, it makes no damn sense.
Exactly. If you're going to have accuracy, where are you going to want it? Well, when your life bloody depends on it. You're not going to be too concerned about convenience when you've got billions of tons of tanker to be navigating around the world. You'll be damn sure to concern yourself about how accurate your navigation tools are, though, won't you? But yet, no. No, they don't use globes. Well, that seems strangely suspicious, I would say. And with that, I'll say another massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of the premiering audience in Nathan Oakley 1980 and Nathan Oakley, and also another big thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and join the community forum to keep up to date with the community Flat Earth debate, and also a massive thank you to all of my Patreons for supporting me there. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!